At 11:36 a.m. on August 14, 2018, during a rainstorm, a 210-meter section of the Ponte Morandi, the Morandi Bridge over the Polsevera River in Genoa, Italy, collapsed. 43 people died. Vehicles on the highway plunged over 40 meters into the riverbed and the industrial area below. Hundreds of families were evacuated from the apartment buildings that had been constructed in the bridge's shadow over the decades. The collapse of Pier 9, one of only 3 pylons supporting the entire bridge, brought down an entire span in seconds. It was the worst infrastructure disaster in Italy since the Second World War. The Morandi Bridge was designed by engineer Riccardo Morandi and completed in 1967. At the time, it was considered a bold architectural and engineering achievement. The bridge spans a valley in Genoa where a river, a railway, and industrial areas created an extremely complex site. Morandi's solution was a stayed concrete design, a relatively unusual choice, as most cable-stayed bridges use steel cables. He instead used concrete stays encased in concrete, a system that looked elegant and required very little steel, which was expensive in post-war Italy. Morandi's design used just 3 Y-shaped pylons to support the entire 1,182-meter bridge. Each pylon held a central span using a system called balanced cantilever with stays, essentially a pylon with 2 arms, each arm connected to the deck by concrete-encased cable stays, and balanced against each other. This produced a visually striking structure. But the design had a critical practical consequence: the stays were unique, complex, and almost impossible to inspect or maintain. The concrete covering that Morandi used to protect the steel cables from corrosion also made them invisible. The steel tendons inside the concrete stays were under permanent tension, they were pre-stressed. Pre-stressed concrete relies on the steel remaining in a precise state of stress. If the steel corrodes, it loses cross-sectional area. As it loses area, it can no longer maintain the required stress. If corrosion progresses far enough, individual wires within the cable fail. Because the cables are encased in concrete, each wire failure is invisible from the outside. The only external evidence may be minor cracking or surface discoloration, signs that can easily be dismissed or missed entirely. The bridge was barely 10 years old when corrosion problems first became apparent. In the 1970s, engineers noted that the concrete stays were degrading. Morandi himself conducted studies and proposed remediation. Repairs were carried out on some stays in the 1980s and 1990s, involving wrapping existing stays with additional reinforcement. These repairs were controversial. Critics argued they added weight without addressing the underlying corrosion, and that they further obscured the condition of the original cables. The bridge accumulated repair upon repair, each one making inspection harder than before. The location of the Morandi Bridge in Genoa's climate made corrosion especially aggressive. Genoa sits on the Ligurian Sea. The valley the bridge crosses funnels sea salt air inland. The local industrial area below the bridge, factories, a river, heavy truck traffic on the highway above, produced a chemically aggressive environment. The stays were exposed to salt spray, moisture cycles, and chemical pollution for decades. Studies have estimated that the corrosive conditions at this specific site were several times more severe than at typical coastal infrastructure. By the early 2000s, a consensus was emerging among Italian structural engineers that the Morandi Bridge required either major intervention or replacement. A 1999 study by the Polytechnic University of Milan concluded that the stays were in serious condition and that inspection was so difficult it was essentially impossible to determine the true state of the internal tendons. The report recommended urgent action. The motorway concession holder Autostrade per l'Italia, a private company operating the highway, commissioned studies and conducted some monitoring, but the fundamental structural problem was not resolved. Autostrade per l'Italia had been granted the concession to operate Italy's toll motorway network through a privatization process in the 1990s. As the concession holder, it was responsible for maintaining the bridges on its network. Its monitoring of the Morandi Bridge has been extensively scrutinized since the collapse. The company and Italian government have provided different accounts of what inspection data existed and what it showed. Court proceedings have involved charges of negligence and culpable homicide against dozens of current and former executives and officials. In 2016, 2 years before the collapse, researchers at the University of Genoa published a study that used finite element modeling to analyze the bridge's structural condition. They explicitly modeled the scenario of a stay failure and concluded it could lead to collapse of an entire span. They estimated that the western stay of Pier 9 had lost substantial load capacity. Their study was published in a peer-reviewed engineering journal. It received attention in Italian engineering circles. No accelerated action followed. The August 14 collapse occurred on a state holiday, Ferragosto, Italy's most celebrated summer holiday. Traffic on the bridge at the time was normal for a holiday weekday morning. The collapse took approximately 0.8 seconds from initiation to complete fall. Seismic sensors in the region detected the event as a small ground tremor. Witnesses described a sound like thunder before the bridge section dropped. Some drivers saw the roadway falling in front of them and braked in time. Others drove into the gap before they could stop. The investigation by Italian authorities involved forensic analysis of recovered structural elements. The consensus conclusion was that corrosion in the steel tendons of one or both stays of Pier 9 had progressed to the point of failure. Once one stay failed, the load redistribution caused immediate failure of the other, and the entire span fell in a progressive collapse. The exact sequence, which stay failed first, whether lightning triggered the final event or not, is disputed. The underlying cause, decades of progressive corrosion in components that could not be adequately inspected, is not. The rescue and recovery operations lasted for days. Survivors were pulled from vehicles and debris. The bodies of all 43 victims were eventually recovered. Approximately 600 residents of buildings under or adjacent to the bridge were evacuated and not permitted to return to their homes, in some cases, permanently. The emotional and community impact on Genoa was profound. The city had lived under the bridge for 50 years. Thousands of vehicles crossed it daily. Its failure was not just a structural event, it was a rupture in the city's daily life. Italy's then Deputy Prime Minister Luigi Di Maio called for the revocation of Autostrade per l'Italia's motorway concession in the immediate aftermath. The political battle that followed reflected deep conflicts in Italian politics about the 1990s privatization of public infrastructure. The concession revocation did not ultimately happen. Instead, Autostrade agreed to pay €3.4 billion in damages and settlements, to fund the demolition and reconstruction of the bridge, and to relinquish a portion of its concession. The settlement was finalized in 2020. The Morandi Bridge was demolished in a controlled implosion on June 28, 2019, less than a year after the collapse. The demolition itself was a major engineering operation, requiring months of preparation to isolate the remaining structure, remove adjacent buildings, and sequence the explosions. Hundreds of Genoese citizens watched from rooftops and hillsides. Some wept. Others applauded. The remains of a structure that had been part of the city's skyline for 5 decades fell into rubble in seconds. The replacement bridge, the Genova San Giorgio Bridge, designed by architect Renzo Piano, was built with extraordinary speed for a major infrastructure project. Construction began in January 2020 and the bridge opened to traffic on August 3, 2020, less than 2 years after the collapse. The new design is conventional by modern cable-stayed bridge standards: steel cables, concrete deck, unremarkable engineering. Its speed of construction was a deliberate political and psychological signal: Italy could build. The new bridge is also designed for comprehensive, permanent structural health monitoring. The Morandi Bridge failure catalyzed a national examination of Italy's infrastructure condition. A government inventory of road bridges and viaducts found thousands of structures requiring urgent assessment. Italy's bridge network is heavily weighted toward older designs, many built in the 1950s and 1960s during the post-war economic boom, and maintenance investment had declined significantly during the decade of austerity following the 2008 financial crisis. The Morandi collapse made visible a problem that had been accumulating for years. Infrastructure funding deficits produce structural risk that is invisible until it is catastrophic. The European Union and many member states launched infrastructure review programs following the Genoa disaster. Germany, France, and the UK all commissioned assessments of older bridge stock. The concept of invisible corrosion, structural deterioration that cannot be detected without dismantling or destructive testing, received new attention in engineering practice. Sensor-based structural health monitoring, acoustic emission monitoring of pre-stressed tendons, and improved inspection protocols for concrete encased systems all received increased research and investment. The Morandi Bridge story is a story about maintenance being valued less than construction. Building new infrastructure is politically visible, economically stimulating, and professionally celebrated. Maintaining existing infrastructure is expensive, unglamorous, and often deferred in budget negotiations. But old infrastructure doesn't become safer with age, it becomes more vulnerable. The concrete of 1960s Italy was not designed to last indefinitely. The steel inside it was not protected for the conditions it actually experienced. The gap between design life and actual maintenance was filled with risk. Riccardo Morandi was an important figure in 20th century engineering. He pushed the boundaries of what pre-stressed concrete could achieve. The Polsevera viaduct was not a uniquely dangerous design by the standards of its time. But its specific combination of characteristics, concrete encased stays, a climate hostile to steel, a critical node with limited redundancy, and an operational context that made replacement politically difficult, created conditions for failure that accumulated silently over half a century. The problem was not that the bridge was designed badly. The problem was that it was designed for conditions it did not experience, and maintained for a lifespan it was not built to serve. 43 people drove onto the Morandi Bridge on the morning of August 14, 2018, expecting to cross it as they had crossed it hundreds of times before. The bridge had carried millions of journeys safely for 51 years. The deterioration that had been accumulating for decades was invisible from the road surface. There was nothing to tell the drivers that the cables above them had been corroding for 40 years, that researchers had published papers about the risk, that engineers had been arguing about what to do. The infrastructure we use every day holds the accumulated decisions of generations. Those decisions matter long after the engineers who made them are gone. The Genova-San Giorgio Bridge opened on a sunlit August morning. Renzo Piano, the Genoa-born architect, had designed it as a gift to his city, donating his fees. It rises above the Polsevera Valley with a clean, modern simplicity that contrasts with the sculptural drama of the Morandi design it replaced. Beneath it, at ground level, a memorial park was created for the 43 victims, with 43 steel columns, one for each person, rising from the valley floor. The new bridge carries traffic. The memorial holds memory. Both exist because an old bridge that nobody could fully see inside finally gave way.